all heard, right? The father of this, the father of that. So in the same way, leet code is the father of coding. Hello everyone, it's really good to see you here all. So in today's video, we are going to talk about the very important key point, and that is unlocking the power of DSA, a beginner's guide. So in this video, we are going to cover how to prepare for your DSA and why to prepare for DSA. Are you ready? So let's get started. So the question is, why learn DSA? If you are doing something, you have to know why you are doing that. As we all know that it helps us to improve the efficiency and performance of the software application. For instance, if you are not understanding this, I hope that every one of you have solved the twosome problem on leet code, right? So if you don't know the data structure of hash map, how are you going to solve that problem? You are going to use two loops to find out whether the sum of any two elements in that particular array equals to the given sum or not, right? This is the way you are going to approach that problem. But then, what about the time complexity of that particular question? It's going to be O of n square, right? How can we improve that? So in this case, if you have a knowledge of hash map, what it does, then you can align that particular learning with that particular question, which means that now you know that hash map help you to map each and every repetitive element and just store its count. If you are using it in that way, then it's going to help you in that particular question, because you can now twist and turn hash map so that it provides you an answer regarding the same twosome question, right? So there are many use cases of learning DSA because it helps you to solve complex problem more effectively. And for interview, as you all know that if you are preparing for SD companies, then DSA is the godfather, right? And it's the Bhagwan, So you must have to learn DSA in order to crack your coding rounds as well as the technical interview. If you have the background knowledge of DSA, then it helps you to understand at which particular situation which type of data structures can be useful. For example, if you have a knowledge of stack and queue, then it becomes very easy if you are solving some string related questions. In the same way, all this learning reach you to a final destination where now you can adjust and know which particular data structure fits the best at that particular situation. So overall, it enhances your overall problem solving and critical thinking ability. So now if you want to learn DSA, now what are the different prerequisites that you have to complete in order to start that? So the very first thing which you have to know is a language. Try to learn the basic of any programming language. It can be C++, Python, Java or any language in which you are comfortable with, because later on you are going to practice on using that particular language of whatever you have learned in your data structures. So learning the concept is not only the thing. Learning and then after implementing that is very crucial. You also have to a sound knowledge of problem solving techniques and logical reasoning. In my opinion, you know what coding is? If you are in some 6th or 10th grade class, you have word problem in maths, right? So in the same way, coding is the same thing. On that particular time, what you do, you just solve it by creating a formula or by creating some equation, right? In the same way, here, the formula is data structures and algorithm, and now you have to think where to apply that formula in order to get your required results. So here, you have to have a background knowledge of some arithmetic operation, logarithms and basic probability, because it has a percentage in DSA. So overall, be curious and learn it. Along with that, practice it consistently, because that's the key to anything and every success. Moving on, so what are the different fundamentals of DSA? So there are 5 things which you have to keep in mind. Firstly, the different type of DSA, that is different type of data structures and algorithm which you have to master, and the core concept of it which you have to know, like array, linked list, stack, queues, trees, graphs and so on. So just go through all of these data structures, and after that don't forget to learn about algorithms, because they are very useful tool in order to solve any complex problem by breaking it down using that. And in algorithm, it mainly includes sorting, searching and graph traversal algorithms, which are very helpful. Once you start doing that, you are going to say that, why haven't I learned it earlier? So that's how useful that is. Talking about the time and space complexity, so whenever you are solving any problem, it's always the case that you try to reduce the time and space, because that's how you make your code efficient, right? And in this emerging world, you know what's the importance of having a clean and efficient code. It's going to help you a lot. And in data structures and algorithm, we are doing the same thing. We are trying to reduce the space and time complexity using different type of data structures according to the problem statement and situation. Because most of the time, brute force approach have so many problems related to a very high time complexity as well as a very high space complexity. So once you understand the fundamentals of data structures and algorithm, now it's time to move on and start practicing about it, because practice is the only key. When we are children, we are very uncomfortable with the word problems, right? Because at that time, we are not able to decode what the word or the sentences try to say us. But once you got hands-on practice on the same word problems, now it becomes so easy for you that you solve that problem in minutes. So how that change happened? It only happened because you have now practiced that particular type of thing a lot. So there's no definition of a lot, right? It can be 5 problem for you, or it can be 10 problem for you, or it can more than that. But the conclusion is that lot become only when you are become comfortable with that particular data structure. So try to solve as much as you can. Moving on, what are the different algorithm design and analysis? So algorithm design involves creating efficient step-by-step procedure to solve specific problem or perform specific task. So here, time complexity and space complexity are very crucial factors. Like how long they take to run, that's the time complexity. And talking about the space complexity, it shows how much memory they require. Whenever you are storing something in your computer, it requires some space, right? There's nothing for free. Nothing is free in this world, as you know. In the same way, if you're writing any code, it's going to take some space. And that's what space complexity is. The more space it takes, the more inefficient that program will become. So, the efficient algorithm aims to minimize time and space complexity, resulting in faster and more scalable solutions. So, there are so many different algorithm techniques like dynamic programming, divide and conquer, along with that greedy algorithm, which are very vast topic, and at the same time they are very interesting. Once you learn that, you are going to enjoy that a lot. So do try it out. Also, understanding the algorithm design and analysis help you to find the most suitable algorithm for a particular situation, so that you can optimize your code as well as coding efficiently and help the technology as well as the future of technology to grow a lot. Moving on, let's talk about what are the different learning resources which you can use. You have all heard, right? The father of this, the father of that. So in the same way, lead code is the father of coding. So if you want to start coding as well as mainly DSA, I suggest that do try it out lead code whenever you are learning some concept. Now it's time to practice those concepts. And for that, which platform is going to help you? Lead code is the answer. Because lead code has so many different questions related to same data structure, so that you practice that particular data structure. Apart from lead code, you also have Geeks for Geeks, HackerRank, and also I have written so many different YouTube channels which you can follow, because they have a very good content related to DSA and you learn the concepts, because learning a concept is very important. Once you have gained the concept, now you can implement those particular concepts in your coding in order to improve each and everything of your coding. So now, let's talk about implementing and practicing DSA. Whatever the algorithm or data structures you are learning, don't just learn that. Do practice it out, because only learning a concept is not that particularly useful if you haven't practicing it, because end of the day you have to code it. So just don't only learn the concept, but at the same time learn the concept and implement it using coding. So as I already said, LeetCode, HackerRank, CodeSignal, these are the different platforms which help you to practice your learning of DSA in a coding form. Each and every time when you are coding, try to analyze your time and space complexity. The more you can reduce that, the more efficient your program became. And the most important thing which you can use is participating in coding challenges, because that actually grows your mind in a sharper way, help you to apply DSA concept to real world problems. You all know that every one of you have to make resume in which you have to mention some project. So if you're learning DSA, why not just pick any algorithm and try to make project on it, which can be helpful for you to add in your resume, as well as at the same time, you are going to have the whole idea of that particular data structures, and that's a very good thing. Start with the basic data structures and then later on move to the harder one, because that actually boosts your confidence as well as makes your concept a much better. Now, not only learning is important, but engaging with the DSA community is very important. So what you can do, you can just seek guidance from your seniors, whatever the thing they have used, whatever the resources they have used, and try to implement that for yourself. On the other hand, you can also collaborate on projects, make team with your peers, and start working on the different data structures concept, which would be very helpful for you. So do try it out. Participate in coding challenges and competition. Now talking about the most important thing, that is open source project. So once you have learned a DSA, try to implement that particular learning on different open source projects related to DSA. So it has two benefits. Firstly, you are implementing your core concept of coding and DSA on something, and at the same time you are getting a benefit of learning open source, and that's a very big word, and in today's world it has so many weightage if you mention that in your resume. You can also join forums and communities online and become active member there and help people for their problem, and at the same time also take help from them. Anytime, peer learning is very friendly and cheerful environment where you can learn and grow very fast. Once you have learned some data structures, now it's time to get what are the real world applications related to that particular data structures. So what has table do? It just efficiently store and retrieve data, and it can be used in databases, caching systems, and network routers. So once you have learning some data structures, try to see what are the different real world applications that are using that particular data structure. For example, graph algorithm. What are the different maps you are seeing? The Google map or the maps on Uber ride, Ola ride, and so on. They are using graph algorithm to get the shortest path. Now talking about dynamic programming, it just helps you to optimize problem efficiently. And it has so many things which you can learn, and once you start implementing it, there's no going back. Because the space and time it takes to solve a particular problem and the efficiency it provides is very high. And mastering in dynamic programming also helps you to crack any interview, because whatever the interview is, most of the time, dynamic programming plays a very important role and weightage. So, you know how important that can be. Now, talking about binary search tree. So, it enables fast searching, insertion and deletion of data, and it is commonly used in file system, database indexing and spelling checking algorithm. So, I have made a video on a Chrome extension called Quillboard that actually helps you to find out the spelling and grammatical errors in your writing, So you can see that that particular extension actually uses the concept of binary search data structure. So you can see that now it's nothing on the cloud, but it's actually in the reality. So once you connect anything with the reality, it's going to very easy as well as helps you to learn and grasp things quickly. Also talking about the sorting algorithm, there are so many different sorting algorithms like bubble sort, merge sort, binary sort and so on, which you can learn, and it actually helps to organize and sort data which can be used in search engines. So you are using Google search engine, you are using that is Chrome, right? Or if you are using Firefox or DuckDuckGo or any search engine you are using, they are actually using sorting algorithm in order to provide you the most accurate results related to your search. With that, it has also use cases on data analysis as well as financial system. And you know, nowadays, data is the real goal. And why I'm saying that? Because each and everything, whatever you are doing, if I talk about ChatGPT, how ChatGPT give all the answers to you? It's just because it has so many data which help ChatGPT to provide you all the results and all the solution of your answer, right? In the similar way, whatever the thing you are using, whatever the application you are using, each and everything has your data and using data in order to provide you the best results and best user experience. So, data analysis is a very crucial part of that. Moving on, now let's talk about analyzing and optimizing your code. So if you have already learned data structures and algorithm, now you can optimize that using memoization. What it means is that whenever you have solved one problem, let's suppose f of x equals to some x square, for instance, and now f of 1 is equals to 1, right? So if you already calculated f of 1 equal to 1, and if in the code, if it again comes, then you don't need to calculate that again, because your code is going to memorize that particular thing and use directly. It reduces your time and space complexity for doing and solving that particular problem. Along with that, if you have learned the concept of dynamic programming, greedy algorithm, time and space complexity, now you can adjust them in order to optimize your code at the most. And in an interview, the more you optimize your code, the selection chances of you going to be boosted up a lot. So try to optimize your code as much as you can. If you are solving a lead code problem and if your answer got accepted, and if you can see that there is a scope so that you can improve that particular code by reducing its time complexity or space complexity, or if possible, reducing both time and space complexity, then again solve that problem using that particular optimization. If you continue to doing that, you are going to have no issue in your coding interviews, because this is what coding interview wants from you. If you are writing a brute force solution, it's okay, but later on you have to optimize it. You have to optimize the time, you have to optimize the space in order to show your interviewer that yeah, you actually know the different core concepts of algorithm, the different core concepts of optimizing and analyzing a code, so that he know that you are a pro. And if you are a pro, no one going to stop you and everyone wants to hire you. Moving on to the last part of this video, that is, whatever the thing you are learning, whatever the thing you are doing, the only thing that's going to matter is your continuous learning and practice, and it's very important. If you are in a software company, you have to make yourself up to date to all the new technologies that are coming around. Learning DSA is a lifelong journey. There are so many data structures that can become in the future, so you have to learn it in order to exist in the market, right? And practicing is the key to success. It's the key to make yourself pro. It's the key to crack any interview. It's the key to crack any company. It's the key to get any job you want. So stay updated of the new algorithm. Try to learn that particular skills and enhance yourself so that you are ready for the industry. as well as you're ready to do anything, whatever you want to. So most of the time, what do? We just learn anything and then we stop practicing it consistently. But for succeeding, I'm telling you for sure, just be consistent. If you're solving 10 problems a day and then for 10 days you're not seeing any problem, then it's not going to be helpful for you. Solving one problem each day is gonna make you more smarter as well as efficient. Apart from that, solving 10 problems a day and then not seeing anything. And practice as much as you can, because I'm saying you this a lot because that's the key. That's very important thing which we just ignore. And this is not the thing that ignoring something gonna make a harmful impact, right? So if something is important, be consistent on that. Making your DSA learning fun, you can make projects on it, as I said earlier. So make personal project related to it. Try to add the personal touch of yourselves to the real world solution, which can be a fun for you as well as it's make your task easier to add that particular project in your resume and make yourself feel proud that you have done something. Not only motivate yourself but also praise yourself, because that's very important. No one is gonna be with you apart from you. So just praise yourself. Whatever the mistakes you are doing, just try to forgive yourself. Just try to work on yourself and make yourselves the best version of yourself. That you are making yourself best every day from the past day. And that's the key. Also embrace challenges. If you are facing some challenges, try to solve it out from your end. And if possible, take help from the peers, take help from any online platform, take help from YouTube, ask anyone. There are so many people who are very happy to help you. So do seek out help if you are needed and embrace challenges. Yeah, embrace. So yeah, and the last thing, here I have used interview with one chart which can be helpful for you to get what are the different data structures which you have to learn. You know, when I'm talking about data structures, then you thought that there are so many data structures. How can I learn that? How can I start that? So this is simple. You can see that here are only this particular data structures. If you have learned, now learning the other data structures would going to be very easy, because that are the root data structures which you have to know. So yeah. Talking about data structures, so there are two types of data structures, linear data structures and non-linear data structures. And in linear data structures, you have array, linked list, tag, queues. So these are linear data structures. And apart from that, talking about the non-linear data structures, you have tree, graphs, table sets and so on. So these much of data structures you have to first learn. Also, there are so many more, I'm not denying the fact. But if you have a background knowledge of these particular data structures, then you are not going to lagging anything. So this is the overall overview of how you can start learning DSA and why you learn DSA. So if you have a background knowledge of why you are doing something, it's very helpful for you to start that and learn that. So if you like this video, please do comment it out. How was it? And also just write whatever the thing you feel about this video, because that helps me to motivate myself in order to make such videos in the future. So this is it. If you have any question or suggestion related to the video, please do comment it down. I'll happy to help. So this is it. I hope you liked it. Please do like, share and subscribe to the channel. And thanks for watching. See you in the next one.